So if you're a person who finds yourself not even starting something, then you have to look at the strategy of avoidance, avoiding judgment, avoiding vulnerability, avoiding honesty, avoiding failure, which is all just a necessary, they're all necessary aspects of being a human being and of creating something. And so really the way to root this out is through an identity shift. You know, you have to overcome and transform your self concept and start speaking to yourself and out loud and on paper in terms of what does the non-perfectionist version of me do? Right? I heard somebody the other day say, well, I'm a perfectionist. And so I think doing some improv would help me kind of get over that. So she wasn't saying perfectionism as like a badge of honor, which some people use and say. But that's really not meaningful. It's a deflection. And so what was cool was that she was acknowledging that she's a perfectionist. It's not a badge of honor. And there's this specific thing that she could do to help her overcome that, which was improvisation. Because there is no perfection. You just have to impulsively say what's on your mind in that moment. You can't stop. You can't say no. So bringing it back to an identity shift, what is the strategy of avoidance? And it's probably judgment, vulnerability, and failure. And then what does the version of me who's not a perfectionist, what is the version of me who starts, finishes, and publishes and does that over and over and over again until I reach a level of mastery? What does that person do? How does that person operate? I am going to think like that person. I am going to act like that person until I become that person. And I want to transform that into the abundance of opportunity, the abundance of insight and clarity, the abundance of time. There's not a time pressure on me to become, the greatest at all these things, all these skills that one has, that one wants to utilize and perfect. When you strip it back to maybe you just say, I want to be vulnerable. I want to be a little scared in that moment of creating. I want to be honest. I want to say the thing that I truly feel, but that I've never really said because I'm afraid of the judgment. And I'm not afraid of failure. Because from the failure I can learn, I can gain meaning and clarity. And that the clarity from meaning often comes from doing the thing and then reflecting and integrating it. Okay, maybe that wasn't very good. What are the takeaways? And this is a very practical approach to perfectionism because I think a lot of us believe that we are perfectionists. Like that's something that people say as an identity. Like I'm a perfectionist. What does that mean? No, you're not. There's something in your psychology that wants to be perfect so that you can avoid the hardship of critique. But you're not a perfectionist. I used to say that, a long time, like when I was for a long time. When I was in my music career and writing songs and everything, it was so vulnerable. It was like, well, if I'm going to be this vulnerable, I want it to at least be good. So think about the cycle of perfectionism and where you are. Are you preventing yourself from starting, or are you distracted by the level of improvement? Because improvement doesn't always show up on the surface immediately. You could have learned something, or you could be learning something and trying it out for months before it actually shows up in a meaningful way. And it kind of goes back to what I was saying earlier, which is like technical stuff and polish is distracting in and of itself. So if you're focused on improvement in your vulnerability or your honesty, today I'm going to say something, or I'm going to write something that I haven't said. I haven't written it out before. I've just kind of, my internal voice has been saying it, but I've never even admitted it to myself, really. So be vulnerable with yourself, and then you can start to be vulnerable externally. And that'll kind of push um the perfectionism threshold out, and then you can go through the gate and you can walk to that next stage, where then you'll probably find that it's snuck into your life again in some way. And then you have that realization, you make an adjustment, a realignment, just like I did with this channel. For over 4 months, it crept in, and then I found myself like stuck, glued inside of the details, and it just doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. So a little extension of perfectionism, that just occurred to me. I finished filming the video and I'm thinking to myself, is there anything else I want to say about perfectionism? And the impulse, the temptation is like, oh yeah, come up with something else, because what you said wasn't good enough. And then refilm the whole video and be sure to include that thing. And not only include that thing, but include it in the right spot. So I said what I said, and tomorrow I might have some big idea about perfectionism, and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe I didn't say that in the video. Why did I publish that video? I should have given it more time. I should have given it more thought." No. No, that's part of the process. You do it the next day, it hits you when you wake up, it's 3 in the morning. You wake up with the thought, you're like, oh my gosh, I didn't say that. That's like a really important part that I should have included. And now people are going to think that I don't really know what I'm talking about because I didn't include this part. Yeah. It's like, it just goes on forever. And that's the perfectionism trap. That's in the flesh what it looks like. All right, I think that actually is it. No. See, there it is right there. That's the temptation. Look, I finished filming this video And the temptation to say more, right? Like I keep coming up with ideas and I've already finished filming the video. I'm like, what? I should just redo it. No. These ideas that are coming to me now are because I completed something. And I braid the new ideas in with the old ones as I move along. And so the next time we talk about perfectionism or whatever, I have more to say. So the temptation is always there. It's always there. And you get better at spotting it. You know, when it pops up, it becomes more clear. You're like, oh, there it is. Hey, it's happening right now. It's happening right now. It's amazing, actually. It's amazing how present it is and how hidden it is. And the urge, the urge to do it because you think it's going to make it better. You think that's going to be the thing that actually makes the impact. But too much thinking and not enough action leads to nothing. It leads to nothing. It leads to a headache. But surely it doesn't lead to a transformative life. Maybe that's it. Maybe now I'm done.